Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this game of Baldur's Gate 3. And I'm going to turn the audio down just a tiny. I switched this already. It reset. Naughty. That's going to be a 60. That's going to be a 50. I think I just closed it instead of saying accept. So, yes, we are doing Baldur's Gate 3. This is going to be a completely new game. This is completely blind. Please, no spoilers at all, because I'm going to be learning this as I go. What I'll probably do is do my own single-player game off-screen, just so I can get ahead a little bit and have a bit more of the wow factor for myself. But I do want to do a playthrough with you all on chat, and this is going to be open to Twitch meddling, so there should be an icon over there somewhere on the side, which will let you interact with the game itself. So you will have a say on the various dialogue options as they come up. I think that you can also use it to check out the character, the inventory, skills, that type of thing as well. This is going to be awesome. I am so excited about this. Fantastic. So, Baldur's Gate, what is it? Well, it is a top-down adventure game, which I would say is like really the original... Oh, not really the original, but the landmark digital Dungeons and Dragons. It was the first one that really did it well. Baldur's Gate 1 is one of my absolute all-time favorite games. It's probably in the top 3, 4, 5, something around there, of all-time games. It had an absolutely enormous impact on me. Baldur's Gate 2 was also very, very good. I think I personally preferred Baldur's Gate 1 slightly more, despite my perfect rendition of Minsk's introduction in Baldur's Gate 2 just now. And then Baldur's Gate 3, quite frankly, a game I thought I'd never see. And then Larian somehow got the rights to it. Larian being the company that did Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2. And here we are. Baldur's Gate 3. It is in early access. It's intended to be in early access for another year or so. So expect a couple of finicky issues, bugs, that type of thing. This is still in active development. Huzzah! Robert C, thank you very much for the 6-month Prime resubscription. Very much appreciate that. Thank you. Just popped into sub. Not going to watch Baldur's Gate 3 for spoiler reasons. Good luck, have fun. Yeah, that's totally fine. I had really wondered whether I wanted to do a streamed Baldur's Gate 3, particularly in early access, because I wanted to wait for the original. Then I thought, you know what, I'll reach out to Larian and see if they give me a copy, and they did, so here we are. We're going to be playing it. Say what you will about Baldur's Gate 2, but John Aranicus had some presence. Yeah, that's true. Actually, to be fair, so did Saravok. Like, John Aranicus is probably one of the absolute best fantasy villains ever. Like, you can kind of not necessarily accept what he was doing, but you can kind of understand it, what he was trying to do. Like Saravok more in Baldur's Gate 2. Yes, so the villain of Baldur's Gate 1 becomes a playable character in your party for the expansion for Baldur's Gate 2. Like, this game was truly groundbreaking in so many different ways, and I am beyond excited to be playing it now. So, I just realised I should probably add a no spoilers warning to the stream itself, because that's apparently a thing you can do now. Tags. No spoilers. Done. Okay, so that is now official. No spoiling. And I should also mention, I am playing through the game, so expect spoilers. If you want to save this for yourselves, then tune out now. But we are going to start a new game. I have not done anything with the character creator. This is literally new for me. It was installing while I was doing the Hearts of Iron game just now, and it just finished installing. Went off, had dinner, came back, and now we're playing. Let's see if I can get rid of my face. That's not my face. That's my face. Ah! Yes, bad things about to happen. Look away for squeamish. Alright, you should be safe again.
Who are you?
Who am I? That is a good question. Chat, who are we? What are we going to be playing as? Who are we going to be playing as? So there are a number of different origins. We're not doing an origin, we're doing a custom one for sure. But we do have different backgrounds, different races, different classes that we will need to pick. Not a stinking elf. I quite agree with that. So... background. Let's start with race. I think we'll go back to origin. So the races available are Elf, Tiefling, Drow, Human, Githyanki, which is new to the series, although themselves an old race, Dwarf, Half-Elf, or Halfling. And they also have the male versions of each. Magnificent. Yes, this is an 18 certificate, and in fact, having seen a little bit of the marketing stuff about this game and some of the things in it, I definitely need to turn on a mature warning. Let me just work out how on earth to do that. There's a lot of different stuff going on here that I'm not used to doing. Alright, mature warning should be on. I'm going to open up a second tab, which is my actual dashboard, and then I can turn that off again afterwards. And this is quite different from much of the stuff I do usually, so just warning. So there are also sub-races for each, so it can be a High Elf, a Wood Elf. Tieflings have Asmodeus, Mephistopheles, Zariel. The Drow have Lothsworn, Seldarine. Humans are just humans. Githyanki are just Githyanki. Dwarves have Gold Dwarves and Shield Dwarves. Half-Elves have High Half-Elf, Wood High Half-Elf. Drow Half-Elf. And then Lightfoot Halfling, Strongheart Halfling. So each one has 2 or 3 different sub-races except for the humans and the Githyanki. So is there any thought on races that we could do? There's also different classes, and this we should also take into consideration. There are clerics, who are your typical healers. They do have magic abilities and frontline combat abilities. They're like a medium type fighter with decent armor and magic. They're one of the few races that have curative magics. Fighters, who are just your out and out combat character, they do have a couple more things to them. In 5th edition they're not just I'm going to swing sword and hope the other guy dies first. The Rangers, who apparently have actually been somewhat fixed in this, like the 5th edition Rangers are terrible. But apparently, from what I've heard, the Rangers in this are actually okay. Rogues, who are sneaky sneaks, who do sneaky things. They are good at backstabs, they do a tremendous amount of damage, and they can do sneaky stuff. Warlocks, who are more limited spellcasters than the wizards, but they can use their magic like more frequently. And then wizards, who are like the ultimate magic user. They don't cast spells very often, but when they do, my gosh, does it have an impact. So those are the choices there. Also, if you're worried about what I'm going to do for my single player playthrough, honestly, I usually play as a human for my first single player. Like, this is probably going to be going back in my mind to when I was playing Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, where I was a human mage priest. I was a dual class, all of the magic. So it's totally fine if you want me to play as a dwarf, because I probably won't play as a dwarf in my single player. And I was wondering if there were some of the others, like Sorcerer. Okay, that's actually the scroll bar for that. I was wondering if there's a scroll bar for this. So it looks like it's just those 6 classes for the time being. So no Sorcerers. I feel like there's a couple of others missing. Bards. No bards. So, I think that it's only going to be things like dialogue, which will have the pop-up polls. So, let's see. We'll start with race, and then once we got the race, we'll choose class. So the options which I personally am most interested in would probably be dwarf, halfling, human, possibly half-elf, if someone wants me to go at least partway into being elven-y. No druids, no monks, yeah, those as well, that's true. Other classes will be released over time. Sorcerer, monk, paladin. How could I have forgotten the paladin? Crikey. Alright, so I'm going to set up a poll. As soon as I find the polls, where are they? There they are. That's not the poll. That's the poll. So, which race? Question mark. So we got dwarf, human, half elf, halfling. Oh, there's no gnomes. I prefer fulling. I'm also going to say Githyanki because they are new. They've not been in a Baldur's Gate series before. Githyanki were one of the... It's the Githyanki and the Githzerai. There's two different races and they're like polar opposites. I can never remember who are the good guys. Is it the good Githyanki or the Githzerai? Peerless warriors from the astral plane known for their legendary silver blades and red dragon mounts. Yeah, see the Githyanki? I thought were actually the bad guys. Githyanki are the good guys. Okay. Good-ish, yeah. They're very much good-ish. There's no fully good. I thought the Yankees were the evil one. I thought it was the Githyanki who were the bad guys too. I thought it was the Githzerai who were the good ones. So, those are the 5 races which I think I'll put forwards. We could substitute human for elf, because I'm probably going to do human in my single player, so yeah, we'll substitute human for elf. And we'll make this poll last 2 minutes. It is, as is always the case here, completely manipulable, if you wish to manipulate. So, yeah, let me know. What would you like to see? Dwarf, elf, halfling, or Githyanki? And I'm only saying 5 because I can literally only offer 5. And while that's going on, I'm going to take a look up on the Githzerai. No, the Githzerai are definitely the good guys. Lawful neutral. Githyanki are lawful evil. I thought so. It is the Zerai who are the good ones. Because the Githyanki are like super militarized and the Githzerai are more like monastical. Both races hate the Illithids. That's true. If they ever read Circle under their model, they were evil from my point of view. Why do I keep losing the overview? There it is. Okay, just to keep an eye on what is winning at the moment. So, still very much to play for. Could be any of those 5 races, except probably Elf and Halfling, who haven't done particularly well. But the other 3, completely in it still. Dwarf, Half-Elf, and Githyanki. You're just a good guy living in a lawful evil world, Mordred. Yeah, I always used to think I was lawful good, but when I was playing through Kingmaker, all of my choices were coming through as lawful neutral, which is a bit of an eye-opener. But still very much lawful. I don't lean chaos at all. Okay, so in last place, my gosh, this was close. We had Elf, with only a solitary vote. How dare you, on my stream. Then in second to last, we have Halfling, with 2 votes. Third place, we have the Githyanki, so we did see a bit of love coming in for them with 16% of the vote. Then the Half-Elves did remarkably well with 40% of the vote. However, coming in victorious, as they should, Dwarfs with 42. I mean, it was a closer vote than I kind of expected it would be, but we are going to be playing as a dwarf. Ugh. And then we need to choose between a gold dwarf and a shield dwarf, but I'm quite frankly going to make that decision based on which class we're going to play as. So we have the 6 class options. I am, honestly, probably the least interested in rogue, so I think I'm going to put the other 5 as options, and also I just don't think that dwarves are very good being rogues, because their dexterity is going to suck. So, Cleric, Fighter, Ranger, Warlock, and Wizard. Again, Cleric is your holy warrior. They have some fighting abilities, though they certainly pale versus the Fighter and the Ranger, but they also have magic. They're Fighter Clerics, Fighter Mages. They can do magic and they can fight. Fighters are pure combat abilities. They have lots of ability to do brute damage, and they also have a lot of hit points and armor, heavy armor. Rangers tend to be ranged. Weirdly enough, they also have a lot more survival, wilderness type skills, and very often they have pets. So you could have like a bear or a tiger or a lion or something like that probably. Warlocks are magic users who can use a lot of magic frequently, but not necessarily the more powerful spells. They have probably some of the best cantrips, which are like your level 0 spells in the game. And then wizards have fewer spells to cast per day than the warlock does, but those spells are really, really strong. And all 5 of these, I would say, are entirely acceptable for a dwarf. We have the abilities to be any of them, even wizards. So we are going to set up another vote. And we're going to get through this quite quickly. So the 5 classes are... Wait, why is that not on the class screen? Cleric, Fighter, Ranger, Warlock, Wizard. Cleric, Fighter, Ranger, Warlock, and Wizard. And those are your options. And then we will choose other details from there. And at that point I'll probably take over a bit more for myself so I can actually choose what I want to do. Dwarf Wizard's completely viable. I've played as Dwarf Wizard in a D&D game, and it was honestly some of the most fun I've had. I was playing as a Dwarven illusionist. And he was very, very interesting character. Now, illusion is one of those schools of magic that digital just can't do justice because it doesn't have the same flexibility that in reality has. Like, you could do stuff like, I'm going to create an illusion that this house is on fire to get everybody to leave the house. Can't really do that unless you have fireballs. Or my personal favourite, I'm going to create an illusion of a portal so we run through the portal and in fact we just, like, go around a corner. And then people are like standing at the portal, like looking through it, trying to work out where we've gone, when in fact we've just run away. No portal actually involved. I love illusionists. Illusionists are awesome. Dwarf illusionist, you made yourself look taller, didn't you? Maybe once or twice. So, vote, vote, vote. Get your votes in. Oh wow, all 5 classes doing quite well here. Impressive. Cleric, Fighter, Ranger, Warlock, or Wizard. Fun thing about the Dwarf Wizard is basically the only one that can wear heavy armor. That is true. If you play as a shield dwarf, you start with the ability to wear medium armor, which wizards usually can't do. And if you're able to wear medium armor, you can get a feat which allows you to wear heavy. So you can have a full plate wielding wizard if you wanted to. You could. Although probably not as effective as a not plate wearing wizard. Although there is no magic failure chance in this, I don't think. It's purely, can you wear it? Yes or no? But I do like wizards. Wizards are good fun. I like magic in D&D. I've played a couple of other rule sets, and they just don't do magic on the same level. Unfortunately. Okay, so in last place, amazingly for the dwarves, came Fighter. I am shocked that the Fighter came last. And then second to last, we have the Cleric. With 7% of the vote, Fighters had 6. Ranger came in with 17. Warlock came in with 25. But definitely taking the lead with Away Kent contributing 103 channel points. Blimey. Wizard. We're going to be playing as a wizard. Okay then. So, now that those decisions have been made, and we'll look at the spells and everything else after this, we do need to choose which subclass we want to be. Gold Dwarves are known for their confidence and keen intuition. The culture of their deep kingdom values family, ritual and fine craftsmanship. So we have Dwarven Resilience, which is a resistance to poison. Constitution +2 means more hit points and also more resistance to poison. Battle Axe Proficiency, Hand Axe, Light Hammer, Warhammer means we can use all of those weapons, even if the class usually wouldn't be able to. And then the Subrace, which is the gold part of the Dwarf. Dwarven Toughness means that we gain an extra hit point per level, I think. And then, it is in fact said. Hit point maximum increases by 1 every time you level up. Movement speed is 7.5. Which I guess is faster than the regular dwarves. And we also gain +1 wisdom. Wisdom being very useful for druids, rangers, and clerics. So not as useful for us. And then we have the shield dwarf. They have Dwarven Resilience, they have all of these basic ones, and then their subrace abilities. Racial speed, oh, okay, it's the same, 7.5. So I think we're actually slightly slower. Yeah, we're slower. Strength +2, so we hit harder in close combat. We have light armor proficiency and also medium armor proficiency. So even if our class can't wear armor ordinarily, we can. And I kind of like the idea of going for an armored wizard. Yeah, I like the idea of the armored wizard, so I think we're going to go shield dwarf wizard for that. And then we have our ability scores. Where do we do those? Oh, abilities, okay. So let's go back to origin. So background, currently an acolyte, which gives us an insight proficiency. Proficiency bonus to any roll made with insight and religion. We can be a charlatan, a criminal, an entertainer, a folk hero, a guild artisan, a noble, an hermit, an outlander, a sage, a sailor, a soldier, an urchin. And those are the choices. And they do change which proficiencies you get. So of these I am probably, and I'm going to write them down again, we'll do it as a poll, because this will impact how I play the character. And should impact the way that you vote in various voting things, where voting happens. And I have again lost my voting screen, there it is. New poll. Background. So we've got Sage, I think is going to be one of them. Acolyte, probably. Although Acolyte is more of a priestly background. Folk Hero could be interesting. I think that there are more dialogue options with Folk Hero. Guild Artisan is a very dwarven thing to do. So that might be where our knowledge and wealth came from. Noble could be good, Hermit could be good. You know, I'm going to get rid of Acolyte and replace it with Hermit. And then I'm going to put Noble as the last because I like playing uppity. Yeah, I think those make sense. So those are going to be the 5. I'm just going to make this a 1-minute vote. So vote, vote, vote. Which background do you think we should have? And I will take a moment to read out what each of them mean. So the Sage. You are curious and well-read, with an unending thirst for knowledge. We get Arcana and History. So Arcana is like magical knowledge, and History is history. The Folk Hero. You're a champion of the common people, challenging tyrants and monsters to help you protect their helpless. We get Animal Handling and Survival. The Guild Artisan. Your skill in a particular craft has earned you a membership in a mercantile guild, offering privileges and protection while engaging in your art. We get Insight, which is your ability to read people, and Persuasion, so you're very good at interacting with other characters. Noble. You are raised in a family among a social elite, accustomed to power and privilege. You have History and Persuasion proficiency. And then the Hermit. You were once sworn to seclusion and continue to prefer solitude over the chaos of society. Medicine proficiency and Religion proficiency. Okay, so the vote is in. Folk Hero came in last, followed by Noble, followed by Hermit. And then there was a bit of a fight-off between the Guild Artisan and the Sage, but the Sage did ultimately win. Renreb, thank you very much for the 50-bit contribution, and then Coach Duke came in with 5,000 channel points. Thank you for that, but we're going to go with a Sage. Okay. Race is done. Shield Dwarf. Voice.
Hells. Something... a tidy slot, but...
The stone's less worn here.
Hells. Something just woke up down here. A tidy slot, but no room.
The stone's less worn here.
Hells. Something just woke up down here.
A tidy slot.
The stone's less worn here.
Hells.
Okay, so there's actually only 4.
Hells. Something just woke up down here.
The stone's less worn here. Recently on...
A tidy slot.
It's not particularly dwarven.
No room.
Voice is a bit low. Okay, I'll try and fix that. I don't think I can do it from here, though. Lack of gruff, dwarfly voices. Yeah, there are. Okay, head. What are we going to look like? Is this even changing? Can we zoom in? Aha! We can zoom in. He looks a bit more wizardy. Bit older. Skin colour. Loads of different options. And apparently one of the things that they did is they actually scanned in people's skin shades, then tried to basically put that on top of the models so that they have more natural looking skin tones, which is pretty cool. And I got to say that it works. Like, these flesh tones are really good. Oh yeah. Ah, these are fine. I usually go for pale. Maybe not that pale. Neutral. I like neutral. Neutral's good for me. Eye colour. Blue, sure. Hairstyle. Long. Too long. Having just been playing Conan going into this, man, these hairstyles are so much better. Oh, there we go. Like he's wearing a wig. Alright, hair 21, need to remember that. Very King Charlesy, yeah, it was. Nope, that was a bit more Viking-y. I don't like it when it's short on the sides like that, though. It's a bit weird. I am sorely tempted by this guy. And then facial hair as well. Oh, now we are actually just King Charles. Oh no, that's King Charles. That's definitely... Shall we play as King Charles? Forgot to check if female dwarves can have beards. No. Oops. Which one were we? That one, I think. Didn't realise it had scrolled. Why is that even an option? Ugh, no, disgusting. Ugh. A beardless dwarf? It's basically saying he's an elf. He was head 2. Okay. I think that's about as small as the beard is allowed to get. I must say, I'm really tempted by that. He's not really a dwarf, though. Like, on a human, that would be fine. Plays a human noble with that. I mean, if you really want, like, eccentric wizard. There we are. Eccentric wizard. And then we can also change the different hairstyle, hair colours. I love how the tip of the beard's just animated, it's like, woo! Lightning blue. Green. I mean, usually I would go with that. I quite like the fiery haired dwarves. Brown or black also makes sense. Looks a bit more regal. Or we could go for an older gentleman. With a bit more of a grey, perhaps. Maybe like that one where it's like black hair with grey streaks. Oh, I quite like that. Gives him a bit more class. Salt and pepper, yeah, I like that. That's cool. Tattoos? I don't go for tattoos. But we'll see what's available. I'm sure that people like using these, but I'm just not one of them. Pass. And then makeup. You can also do that. But I think I will again pass. Okay, so that is our dwarf. Emo wizard, yeah. We are a wizard, however we do need to customize our spells and abilities. Before we do that though, we should definitely choose a name. Do I want to use Mordred or do I want to use my dwarven name? Magnar. Whenever I play a dwarf, I always call him Magnar for some reason. I'll keep Mordred for my single player. It was funny, I wasn't going to get Baldur's Gate 3 because D&D is not really my thing, but it looks very well done. Honestly, you should definitely get into Baldur's Gate even if D&D isn't your thing. Like, if you like just fantasy RPGs, it is unparalleled for fantasy RPG stuff. Go full Grombrindle and get full white. Nah, sod it. We'll do Mordred. Okay. Magic. Magic is impressive, but now mint gleeds. Swords for everyone. So we have various different cantrips that we have access to. Actually looks like we have a good number of them. Firebolt is definitely going to be one of them. Light is going to be another one. I kind of like the idea of Mage Hand. Here. Firebolt for the damage, light and then Mage Hand for the utility. Cantrips are something you can cast all the time. Yes, that's true. True Strike is better in this game. Is it? Because I remember that True Strike and Blade Ward were kind of underwhelming. Divine a character's defenses to give you an advantage on attack rolls against it. Interesting. Is that on... Nah, I'd rather have these, I think. And then we have our 6 spells. So these are the spells that we know at the start of the game. We can cast any of them in any order and any number, up to the number that we can cast for that day. But we have just the 6, which are... These are in our spell book, and then we can choose 3 of them that we can cast. You have Dark Vision. True, but the party may not. Top-down D&D makes me think the old Neverwinter Nights game and feel of it. I mean, Baldur's Gate was the original Neverwinter. Neverwinter came after Baldur's Gate. No mage armor because of armor. True. Very true. Ordinarily, this is like a must-have spell. Increases your armor class by 3, but I'm pretty sure that armor increases that even further, and we're going to be an armor-wielding mage, so cool. Burning Hands is awesome. It is not my favourite spell. Where's my favourite? Nope, that's not it. There it is. There it is. Magic Missile. the best spell in the game, bar none, ever. It's incredible. And I have always been really salty about the fact that there are like elementalists who specialize in elemental spells. There are illusionists who specialize in illusion spells. There are enchanters who specialize in enchanting spells. Where are my force mages? I want my force mages. I want to have a specialization in force magic, like magic missile. Nah, evokers, not really. Evokers are more elemental. I want a specific force mage. There was a force mage prestige class in 3rd edition, yeah, but nothing in 5th edition. You want Jedi? Yeah, I guess I do. Burning Hands is another great spell. This basically fans out fire in front of you. It's a really good point blank AoE. Charm Person, I'd never really gone for the charmy stuff. It's just not the way I play. Colour Spray is kind of like Burning Hand, but with debuffs. Disguise Self, magically change all aspects of your appearance. Now that would be very interesting for tricksters, thief, illusionist, or thief mage people. Whatever they're called. Arcane tricksters. Expeditious Retreat is very helpful because that allows you to move faster, and we are a dwarf, we don't move very fast. False Life could give you extra 5 hit points, which at the start of the game could be nice, but I don't know that I would necessarily want to use up a valuable spell slot on this. Featherfall, also another nice one, allows you to drop a distance without taking falling damage, which actually in a game like this, where verticality is a thing, could be good. Find Familiar. See, in Baldur's Gate, Find Familiar was really useful, but you wouldn't need it in your spellbook. You literally cast it once, you have your Familiar, you're done. I don't know how it works in this. I don't know whether this is something you would repeatedly cast or not. Fog Cloud, this causes obscuring and blinded. Obscuring increases or imposes disadvantage on your enemies. So something that, if you are not familiar with 5th edition rules, that you will need to understand is advantage and disadvantage. What exactly that means. Like we saw True Strike imposes advantage when you're attacking something. Basically what that means is you roll a 20-sided dice to do any of your actions, and you would need a result, depending on your stats, of say 15 or higher. So if you go 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 or 20, then you succeed. If you have advantage, you roll that dice twice and you take the higher result. If you have disadvantage, you roll that dice twice and you take the lower result. So anything which does things like heavily obscured, which imposes disadvantage when hitting you, can be useful for that, because it makes it much harder for people to actually get you. Grease. Cover the ground in grease becomes difficult terrain, so difficult means they move slower and they can also fall over. Jump. Triples jumping distance. In tabletop, this was a really nice ability. I had it on my rogue, and I would jump up into the trees and then hide myself in the foliage of the trees above. And then also have advantage because I was shooting down. On a wizard, that might still be the case, because you then have a better vantage point for casting. You know what? I like the idea of that. Long Strider increases your general movement speed. This is Larian. I think jump might be important. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. So increased movement speed could be good. I did use haste a lot in Divinity. We don't need mage armor. Protection from good and evil. Probably get that on a cleric. Ray of Sickness is a 2d8 poison. Okay, that is a significant amount of damage. But my main damage spell is probably going to be Magic Missile. Ooh, or Thunderwave. I do like Thunderwave. So Thunderwave is a centered on self area of effect, so everything around you takes a blast of thunder, and it also pushes people away. It's really good for like getting out of danger if you're getting surrounded, or if you just have people attacking you. Then Witch Bolt, you cast it once, it maintains concentration, and it does damage every turn that you are linked. This can be nice, but it kind of assumes that you'll be in a longer combat. Thunderwave should work well with an armoured mage. That is true. And in fact, Long Strider with an armoured mage, it means I can be a bit tankier. Maybe false life with that. No, because I've still got wizard hit points. I mean, I am a dwarf, so I have dwarven hit points, though I am not a gold dwarf who has actual extra hit points. Like, gold dwarf clerics are so good. So good. Armor dwarf mage jumps up into the trees, then jumps on enemies, kind of like an Ubermensch from Battle... Urban Mech from Battletech. I was going to say. Can be bad for a game. There is friendly fire, so you need to be aware to use in your team. Yeah, I know. I'm relatively competent with mages. You can probably tell from my descriptions I'm fairly familiar with the magic system in D&D at least. Like, wizards are by far and away my favourite class. I'm not sure what I want to take for my 6th spell. This is an interesting conundrum. I think I might just take Longstrider. So here's one of the things about wizards, is you can find all of these other spells, and you will eventually collect them. These are just the ones you start with. So the cool thing about wizards is if you find a scroll, you write the scroll into your spellbook. Boom, you've got the spell. You won't necessarily be able to use it straight away, but you have it. And then we choose the prepared spells. So the difference here is spells, 6 out of 6, those are the ones that you know. Those are the spells you start off with in your spellbook. Then every day you choose 3 of those spells which you'll use that day, or that time that you've rested. So we're going to have 3 of those spells, 3 of those 6, which we can immediately use. We will then be able to cast 2 spells a day, and those 2 are of any of those 3. So we can go Magic Missile, done. Or we can go Magic Missile, Flaming Hand, done. If we have those prepared. So Magic Missile, 100% preparing it. It's our main combat spell. Then I think I might take Jump for the utility. And then a second damage spell of either Flaming Hands or Thunderwave. We are not going to be in very good armor yet. Probably. It's the beginning of the game. So I think I'm going to take Burning Hands, because if we have any fighters in our party, I'd much rather they got the armor. So we're going to do that. So those are 3 casting spell points, abilities, magic, kapow. And we have Arcane Recovery. So Arcane Recovery means that if we're out of combat, we can replenish expended spell slots, allowing us to cast more magic, which is nice. No CC or defense at start may be tricky. I mean, my defense is going to be armor. I can wear armor. I'm going to be as reliant as a fighter is on finding some. Okay, then Proficiencies. So we start off with Arcana and History for free. We got those as part of our background, being a sage. We can then choose 2 others. So we can choose Insight, Investigation, Medicine, or Religion. So Insight is your ability to read other people and situations, so you can read body language, for example. Investigation is your ability to look around and find something in particular. So investigation would be like, I want to look for a trap. That's investigation. Or I want to look for certain piece of information in these books. That's investigation. Medicine is your ability to heal. And medical knowledge, so it's like diagnosing diseases and things like that. And then religion is your understanding of the religions of the world. It's your ability to recognize gods or their iconography, that type of thing. So investigation generally is very useful. It's also an intelligence skill, and our top ability is going to be intelligence. Then religion is also intelligence, so maybe we'll take investigation and religion. Or investigation insight could be useful. This is the main character, and I don't know who's going to be doing most of the talking. Is this on console? I think it will be. I don't think it is yet. I don't know, is the short answer. Hey man, what's this game about? It's a RPG. It is the RPG. It's always funny when the cleric tanks the int stat, so sucks at religion. Yeah, and this is one of the downsides of not knowing what the party members are going to be like. Like, I know vaguely who they are from the trailers and things, but I don't know their abilities. So I don't know if, for example, slight spoilers, the cleric that we get has religion. I would imagine so. But religion is based on intelligence, which is always weird to me. I would have thought that religion would be wisdom. But there's a lot of skills which are wisdom, as you can probably tell. Wisdom is a really nice ability to have. Which is why a dwarf cleric would have been a very solid all-round character. Found a copy of Baldur's Gate 1 and played on PS2 as a kid yesterday. Felt good. Oh, actually, I wanted to show you that. So, you probably recognised from my introduction at the start of the stream, my Minsk quote from Baldur's Gate 2, that I like the Baldur's Gate series. Just to reinforce that, and talking about Baldur's Gate 1, I have this hanging on my wall. It's the original map from Baldur's Gate. Turn that off, you see it a bit better. So yeah, I am very, very, very into Baldur's Gate. And I have many happy memories of playing Baldur's Gate 1. I completed it twice. Like, I almost never A, complete games, and B, complete it more than once. Played Neverwinter a couple of years ago. Is that also based off D&D? I used to love that game. Yes. Neverwinter was kind of the spin-off from Baldur's Gate. At least in the digital concept. The combat RPG, CRPG. Right. Okay, we'll do this as a poll, because I can't make up my mind as to which of those three I want, so I'm going to use you, chat. What's our third skill going to be? Is it going to be Insight? Is it going to be Medicine? Or is it going to be Religion? Bearing in mind that religion is based on intelligence, so it will probably be better. Whereas Insight and Medicine we may not necessarily be very good at because it's wisdom based. And this is just going to be a 1 minute poll. So vote, vote, vote. And while that's going on, I'm going to drink my tea. Yeah, so Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance was a very different game from the other Baldur's Gate. So Baldur's Gate 1, Tales of the Sword Coast, and Siege of Dragonspear. Then Baldur's Gate 2 and Baldur's Gate 2 Throne of Ball. Very different games from Dark Alliance. Tea? You mean Potion of Vitality? Yes, I do. Just reinstall Baldur's Gate 2 for another playthrough while I let Baldur's Gate 3 cook in the oven for another year. I mean, that's totally fair. And like I said, I was going to do the same. I was going to let this solidify a bit more because early access, and I kind of wanted the full experience. But also, it's freaking Baldur's Gate 3, and I want to get my hands on it right now. Okay, so Driver, thank you very much for the 100 bits, which you have contributed towards this. And then Amphilis contributed 23,000 channel points. Very much appreciate that. So Religion came out ahead with 49% of the vote, Insight with 45%, then Medicine all the way down at 7%. So I guess you guys don't really care about being able to fix stuff. We just blow it up. So we're going to go Religion, 49%. Okay. I'm totally okay with that choice. Then we also have Deception, Intimidation, Performance, Persuasion, Acrobatics, Sleight of Hand, Stealth, Nature, Athletics, Animal Handling, Perception, and Survival, which we don't get because we're a wizard. However, we can still do those things. So Deception is your ability to deceive people, is your ability to lie, and also to resist their ability to read your body language, basically. Intimidation is your force of will, it's your ability to just tell people what to do. Performance is either acting, so kind of goes... Performance and Deception was a bit weird, but performance is like giving a speech. It's also playing musical instruments and stuff like that. Persuasion is your ability to diplomatically persuade somebody to do a thing that you want them to do. Acrobatics is your ability to do gymnastics, so like barrel rolls, diving through people's legs, jumping and then staying on your feet, that type of thing. Sleight of hand is your finger dexterity, so card tricks, making things disappear, pickpocketing, anything which requires dexterous finesse. Stealth is your ability to hide, so if you're trying to stay out of vision, or just if you're trying to not necessarily even sneaking up. It's how difficult to notice you are. So you may not even like get the jump on somebody, you just be able to get closer. Then there's nature, which is your ability to understand and appreciate what different plants do, what different trees do, animals, animal traits, that type of thing. Athletics is your athletical ability, so how fast you can run, how far you can jump, how high you can jump, crossing gaps, stuff like that. Perception is your ability to see stuff in the world, just as an off chance. So your perception would be spotting that there is a squirrel up in the tree above you. And then you can go and investigate it and see if he's got a nest. That's the difference between perception and investigation. And then survival is your wilderness skills. It's how well you can light fires, how well you can survive when it's pouring down in rain, whether you can find tracks and traces of people, stuff like that. Yeah, perception is very important. And perception is based off of wisdom, which is, again, another very important trait for clerics to have. Clerics and rangers. A wizard is never early or late, lad. He arrives right when he bloody well wants to. And then our abilities. So these are the 6 primary traits in the game. Strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. We are a wizard. Intelligence is by far and away the most important attribute for us to have. Strength is your brute strength. It's your ability to push things, pull things, hit hard, punch, that type of thing. Dexterity is your agility. It's your ability to dodge attacks. It's your ability to keep your footing in dangerous or difficult terrain. Constitution is your hardiness. It's your ability to shrug off damage, shrug off pain, resist poisons, that type of thing. Intelligence is book learning. It's your ability to infer things from various situations. Wisdom is your force of will, but it is also like your common sense. So one of my favourite things is your wisdom says it's raining, your intelligence says go inside. Charisma is your personality, your force of will, how much people like you or dislike you. Basically, it's your ability to get your way in various things. So definitely our absolute top ability. I'm going to drop these all down to minimum. I'm going to have you telling me how to do this. Is intelligence. So we want to have probably at the very least 14 intelligence. And these can go all the way up to 18. So it's basically 8 to 18 modified by your by your race. So because we're a dwarf, our constitution could actually go all the way up to 20. Except it can't. Why is 17 the maximum? Why is that the maximum? That's weird. What rule set is this based on? 5th edition. D&D. No, the +3 is your modifier. So basically for every 2 points of an attribute, you get 1 modifier. So whenever I'm rolling, say, a resistance against poison, I add +3 to that roll because we have a 16 or higher. 18 or higher is a +4, 20 or higher is a +5, etc. So 12, 14, 16, 18, those are the important numbers. The 11, 13, 15, 17, 19 don't do you anything. But Con's still showing a 17 here. It should go all the way up to 18, minimum. And then we should get +2 because of our race. Based on point buy rules, you can't buy above 15. Oh, okay. Well, that still says that we need more intelligence. And in fact, it's already added the +2 because that's why strength and constitution are higher than minimum. We still have points. But yeah, I guess the 15's the usual maximum. Huh. Never actually used this system. I always roll. Much prefer rolling. So. Well, we're definitely going to go maximum intelligence, because we have to. And when we level up, when we get feats, we're going to start putting more points into intelligence, because, wow, 15 feels low. Then we'll probably go Constitution if we're going Armored Dwarf. So maybe 12 minimum. We can play around with that a little bit later. We are the main character. And in Baldur's Gate games previously, sometimes you would need to be the one doing the speech tests when talking to other people. So maybe we need charisma. I don't know how it's going to work in this though, whether you can have a like nominated spokesperson or whether you do it yourself. In fact, I'll allow a spoiler on this. How does it work in this? Do you have a nominated speaker who does talking stuff, or does your main character do it? And in fact, I'm sure that there are going to be speech tests when talking to your party during downtime. Charisma was a dump stat in Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, didn't do much in conversations. Yeah, kind of. Ends up being whoever's noticed first. Whoever's selected are in front. It's not going to be the wizard. So I think charisma is still going to be a dump stat. I want to have wisdom at least 10, so that we're not suffering any penalties. Dexterity probably as well. If we're going to be relying on armor, then we want decent dexterity so we can actually use that armor to its best. I think we're going to bump Constitution up to 14, maybe even 16. So we can get all of the hit points possible out of it. We're going to be a very hardy wizard. Then I think probably 12 dexterity, possibly even 14 dexterity. If I remember correctly, plus 2 dex is the most bonus you can get with heavy armor. Or is it 0? Shows you how often I use heavy armor. No dex bonus for heavy. Yeah, it depends on which. Because the other thing we can do is strength, which just feels like a little bit of a waste. And I kind of agree with you, have nothing which is on a negative. In which case, maybe that. Or that. Plus 2 for medium. Okay. So yeah, it must be a 0 for full heavy. Are you still playing pen and paper, or was it Storm King's Thunder you were doing? No, we were doing Phandelver. Even though we're a very experienced group, none of us had actually played Phandelver, and we were kind of curious. Is Mithril heavy? Mithril increases your dex bonus by 1, regardless of what the armor is made out. Regardless of the armor class. So you get full plate. Mithril full plate would give you a +1 dex. No dex for heavy, but you will need at least 15 strength for splint and plate. Is that true even though I'm a dwarf? I need to remember what that does. Was that a gold dwarf thing? I could have sworn one of the dwarves had a thing where they ignored armor weight, but I guess that's not in this. So I guess we do want more strength in that case. 15 strength. So we can wear as heavy armor as possible. We are one hench Dwarf Wizard. This is so strange, like, strength is usually the dump stat for mages. It seems there is no stat requirement in this game for armor. Now that is good to know. So I think I'll just leave strength at 10. Muscle Wizard cast Fist. I mean, we do have, oh, what's that spell called? Mage Hand. Poof. Can you post a link? Yes. Go ahead. Ah, thank you. Okay, so armor modifier, those will have it. Ring doesn't, scale doesn't. Ring is the only heavy armor in the game so far. Scale is also medium. Okay then. And padded gives you... Oh no, that's something else. Cool, thank you. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to bother with dexterity. So I am instead going to go 17 constitution, because why not? (16 con), 14 wisdom. I do like wisdom. It's very useful. Yeah, as a shield dwarf I can. Medium armor proficiency, and as long as you've got the proficiency, you can then get the feats to go even higher. So when I level up, I can get the heavy armor proficiency, and boom. Plate whale, dwarf, wizard. Kind of wanted to see Mordred the Muscle Mage. It just makes no sense though, because all of my abilities are going to be ranged. So that strength is just pointless. No, if you have the proficiency, there are no negatives for wearing armor. It doesn't work like 3rd edition where you'd have a miscast chance. It doesn't exist. So I think that's what we're going to do. You say strength is pointless till you're lugging around heavy armor. I mean, yeah, we're not going to be able to carry anything. But that's what minions are for. I mean, the other thing we could do is put it into charisma if we wanted to be the talker. It could be a very well-spoken dwarf. Better to be wise than well spoken. I mean, the main reason to have high wisdom is perception, so you can see stuff, and insight. And then also your ability to resist mind spells. Yeah, I'm tempted by charisma just because this is the main character, and I have a feeling this is going to open up more dialogue options, and those are always interesting, so we're going to go charisma. And I do like dialogue options and things like this. Right, well, I think...
Who do you dream of at night?
That's us. So on to the next thing. So who do we dream of? Who attracts us? Okay, bit personal. Dwarf. Beard. Oh yeah! Missed this. The bigger her beard, the bigger her assets. It's what dwarves truly look for. Well, we're going to stay dwarf.
The stones are less worn here. A tidy slot, but no rune.
Hells. Something just woke up down here.
Let's go brown hair, eyes. Hair colour. Any colour, so long as it's red. Could go for the goatee. Not goatee, more nobly thing. No, I think I prefer the big bushy beard, to be quite honest. Thanks, I hate it. Van Dyke, that's it, yes. Even got the braids, yes, exactly. It's that feminine touch. Makeup. I don't know. Emo. A touch of shadow, that'll do. I don't know. Hairstyle. Okay, there are some epic hairstyles available here. Oh yeah. Beautiful. Why is chat so confused? I don't know. This seems perfectly fine to me. Keep going through, see the different options. No, definitely hairstyle number 2. I liked that one. Although I gotta say this frilly one's pretty cool. Goes well with the beard. I like that one. Yeah, the huge mane. There you go. Pale skin to go with the red hair. Go paler. There you go. Though we kind of need the freckles, don't we? Yeah, it's a bit too pale. Go with that. Every race has the possibility to add a beard except to women except for the drow. Whatever floats your boat. Hair 20's like she wants to talk to your manager. Oops, that's facial hair. Whoops. There is no hair 20. Doesn't exist. You lied to me, chat. You lied to me. Hair 19, okay. Oh, there's 20. The game needs to learn to count. 17, 20, 19, 21. Still missing 9, no, 8. No, we're all good. It was said by Gimli that there are a few dwarf women, probably no more than a third of the whole people. They seldom walk abroad except at great need. They are in voice and appearance, and even in garb, must go on a journey so like the dwarf men, the eyes and ears of other peoples, that they cannot be told apart. Yeah, I like this.